restaurant's name, menu, and key information. QR codes link directly to Visit Busan, Naver Map, and Google Maps for directions. Korean and English editions are now available, while the Japanese and Chinese versions are available exclusively online. The 2026 Busan Brand Festa will be held at Bexco Exhibition Center 1 from today through Saturday. The event is designed to boost sales for local businesses and encourage consumer spending. A record 187 local companies will showcase their products and technologies. New attractions include the seafood market, bakery zone, and eco-friendly products hall. Visitors can also explore exhibits featuring social enterprises, tourism businesses, furniture makers, and small businesses. Discount sales, giveaways, hands-on activities, and other special events will be offered throughout the festival. Admission is free. In international news, the U.S. Central Command said it carried out additional airstrikes on Iran yesterday in response to attacks on commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. The latest strikes reportedly targeted a wider range of sites than the previous day's operation. The U.S. said the strikes were aimed at weakening Iran's ability to threaten freedom of navigation in the strategic waterway. Iran is expected to retaliate, raising concerns over growing tensions. And now for today's weather. It is currently 28 degrees Celsius under partly cloudy skies. A heat advisory remains in effect for most of Busan, excluding the eastern areas. Temperatures are expected to stay above 30 degrees Celsius, bringing hot and humid weather. That wraps up this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어 방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
Good morning and welcome to Busan Worldwide. What is the force that drives us to leave the country we were born in and settle down in a completely unfamiliar city? 우리가 태어난 나라를 떠나 낯선 도시에 정착하기로 결심하게 만드는 힘은 무엇일까요? Internations, a global community of over 5 million expats, publishes its expat city ranking every year. Interestingly, the top-ranked cities all share a few things in common: an open culture that warmly welcomes foreigners and an inclusive atmosphere where even strangers can easily make friends and blend into the community. It turns out that a city's greatest competitive edge isn't its glamorous infrastructure. Instead, it's the warm hospitality of its people and the sense of connection within the community that makes people from around the world want to stay. Ultimately, isn't the true power that makes someone stay in a city that warm sense of belonging, the feeling that I, too, can be a part of this place? 결국 사람을 한 도시에 머물게 하는 힘은 나도 이곳의 일원이 될 수 있다는 따뜻한 소속감 아닐까요? This is Busan Worldwide. I'm your guest host, Claire Kim.
Busan, where the light of the world comes together. Stories from Busan connect to the world. The closest place to hear the voices of the region. Right now, at the center of the stories you want to know. Busan to the world. Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon.
You're listening live on this Thursday morning, July 9th on BEFM, Busan 영어방송, 90.5 FM in Busan and 103.3 FM in Gijang, Jeongwan and Noksan areas. Hope you're having a great morning so far. It was pretty windy this morning. Hope you're all safe. So, the 21st Busan International Kids and Youth Film Festival, BIKY, has officially opened. 제21회 부산국제어린이청소년영화제가 개막했습니다. This year, featuring 179 films from 41 countries, the festival has expanded its stage beyond Haeundae to West Busan, allowing more citizens to enjoy movies closer to home. It's expanding into a true cultural festival for children, youth, and families to enjoy together, adding programs like AI video production experiences, career talks, and family activities on top of the film screenings. Watching a movie, meeting new people, discovering a dream. If it's these small experiences that build up and create the feeling of, I want to keep living in this city. Ultimately, what makes a city special isn't its buildings or facilities, but the good memories that make people dream of the future and want to stay for a long time, don't you think? Today on the interview, we are joined by research fellow Lee Yo-ba from the Busan Development Institute. Over the past 10 years, the number of international students in Busan has nearly tripled, and over 80% of those wishing to stay in Korea and said they want to settle right here in Busan. In just a moment, we'll discuss what Busan needs to become a city where global talent wants to live and thrive for a long time. And before that, here's today's text topic question. What is the most important thing when deciding to stay in a city? What is the most important thing when deciding to stay in a city? So, a city is built on more than just buildings and roads. It's the daily lives and relationships of its people, and that shared feeling of, I want to keep living here, that truly completes a city. For some, a good job might be the most important factor. For others, family and friends, culture and nature, or a safe and comfortable environment could be the bigger reasons. In the end, everyone has their own unique reasons for choosing to stay in a city. 자, 오늘 문자 주제 알려드릴게요. 도시에 머물기 위해 가장 중요한 것은? So for me, I would say a safe environment and well-connected infrastructure are the most important factor. When the practical aspects of daily life, like public transportation, parks, and basic amenities are well established, it makes day-to-day living much, much easier. Rather than flashy attractions, a city that provides stability and convenience in everyday life is the kind of place where I would want to stay long-term. You can send us your message to pound 9050 for 101 or reach us for free through KakaoTalk or the YouTube live chat. 이 프로그램은 방송미디어통신위원회의 방송통신발전기금을 지원받아 제작하였습니다. With that, let's jump into today's The Interview. And the time is now 11:11, which means it's time for the interview. What determines a city's competitiveness? In the past, large factories, tall buildings, and wide roads were the standards that showed a city's competitiveness. Today, however, we live in an era where how many people want to stay in that city has become a more critical factor. In particular, which city young global talents choose and whether they wish to continue living there after graduation is becoming a crucial criterion for gauging the future of the city. According to a recent study by the Busan Development Institute, the number of international students in Busan has increased nearly threefold over the past 10 years. Among them, over 80% of the students who wish to remain in South Korea hope to settle down specifically in Busan. Yet, in the actual employment process, a mismatch between companies and international students still remains a challenge. Joining us today is Lee Yo-ba, a research fellow at the Busan Development Institute. Today, we will discuss what kind of efforts are needed for Busan to grow into a city where global talents want to stay. 네, 오늘 디인터뷰는 이요바 부산연구원 연구위원과 함께합니다. 부산이 글로벌 인재들이 머물고 싶은 도시로 성장하기 위해 어떤 노력이 필요한지 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 연구원님 어서 오세요.
Yeah. Hello, listeners. I'm Yuba from Busan Research Institute. It's great to meet you.
네, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio today. So, the Busan Development Institute recently published a report titled Employment Support Strategies for Foreign International Students in Busan. To start, I would like to hear what motivated you to begin this research. 최근 부산연구원에서 부산 외국인 유학생 취업 지원 전략 보고서를 발표했습니다. 먼저 이 연구를 시작한 계기를 들어보고 싶습니다.
사실은 회사에서 시켜서 했습니다. 이게 저도 이제 어쩔 수 없는 직장인이다 보니까 회사에서 시켜서 하게 됐는데 이제 조금 더 정확하게 말씀드리면은 이제 부산시에서 저희 회사로 이제 공식적인 요청이 있었습니다. 작년에 있었고요. 부산의 외국인 유학생들을 위해서 좀 실질적인 취업과 정착 방안을 제안해 달라는 주문이 있었습니다. 진행장님께서 이제 앞에서 말씀해 주신 것처럼 최근에 부산의 유학생들이 정말 많이 늘고 있는데요. 부산시도 그걸 잘 알고 있고 그동안 유학생들을 지원하기 위해서 정말 많은 노력들을 해왔습니다. 근데 여기서 조금 더 한 걸음 나가서 유학생들이 졸업 후에 부산이 계속 머물 수 있도록 더 좀 고도화된 전략을 발굴해 보고자 저희 회사에 요청을 했고 그래서 작년에 그런 일이 있었고요. 저희가 이제 본격적으로 그 회사에서 연구가 시작되었습니다.
네, 유학생 정착을 돕기 위한 부산시의 실질적인 고민에서 출발한 연구군요. So the initial push came actually because it was assigned by his workplace, jokingly saying that as an office worker, he has to do what his company asks. Giving a more precise explanation, he clarifies that there was an official request from the Busan city to propose practical employment and settlement plans for international students in Busan. He notes that, as mentioned in the introduction, the number of international students in Busan has been rising noticeably, and the city has already put extensive effort into supporting them in various ways. He explains that the Institute launched this research in earnest to take things a step further and uncover more advanced, sophisticated policies that can help these students continuously stay in Busan after graduation. So looking at the survey results, the number of international students in Busan has increased nearly 3 times over the past 10 years, and more than half of them expressed the desire to stay in Korea after graduation. Among them, over 80% responded that they want to continue living specifically in Busan. What makes these international students choose Busan? 조사 결과를 보면 부산의 외국인 유학생은 지난 10년 동안 약 3배 가까이 증가했고 절반 이상이 졸업 후에도 한국에 머물기를 희망했습니다. 그중 80% 이상은 부산에 계속 살고 싶다고 답했는데요. 외국인 유학생들이 부산을 선택하는 이유는 무엇일까요?
네, 설문조사 결과를 보면은 부산 유학생들이 부산을 선택한 이유들이 좀 보이는데요. 왜 부산에 유학을 왔냐라고 이렇게 질문했을 때 이제 도시가 마음에 들어서 그리고 등록금과 생활비가 좀 저렴해서 그리고 부산에 좋은 대학이 많아서라는 문항에 응답을 많이 했습니다. 그리고 졸업 후에 왜 부산에 남고 싶냐 이렇게 물어봤을 때는 내가 원하는 일자리가 있다. 그리고 생활비가 합리적이다. 그리고 이미 사귄 지인들과 가까이 살 수 있다. 등의 어떤 문항에 많은 응답을 했습니다. 이런 것들을 이렇게 종합해 보면은 결국 부산의 매력이 무엇인지 좀 드러나 보이는데요. 이제 바다가 주는 아름다운 도시, 그리고 일자리가 있고 또 수도권보다는 좀 저렴한 생활비, 그리고 이곳에서 맺은 인간관계가 유학생들을 부산에 머물게 하는 어떤 경쟁력이 되지 않을까 생각하고 있습니다.
네, 자연 환경과 합리적인 물가 그리고 따뜻한 인간관계가 핵심 매력이었네요. So he explains that the survey results clearly reveal the reasons why students choose Busan. When asked why they came to Busan to study, the most frequent responses were that they liked the city itself, the tuition and living expenses were affordable, and Busan has many good universities. He notes that their reasons for wanting to find employment in Busan after graduation were quite similar. They pointed out that the city offers the jobs they desire, the cost of living is reasonable, and it allows them to live close to the acquaintances they have already made. Bundling these insights together, he concludes that Busan's appeal is clear. The beautiful urban environment shaped by the ocean, the availability of jobs, a more manageable cost of living compared to the capital region, and the warm personal relationships built here represent the true competitive advantages keeping international students in Busan. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning into Busan Worldwide, we're speaking with Lee Yo-ba, research fellow at the Busan Development Institute. He's sharing his insights on practical employment strategies for international students and what it takes for Busan to become a city where global talent truly wants to stay and build their futures. So, through the results of this study, what kind of opportunities do you foresee Busan creating moving forward? Beyond a simple increase in the number of international students, what significance does this hold for Busan's universities, industries, and local community? 이번 조사 결과를 통해 부산이 앞으로 어떤 기회를 만들 수 있다고 보셨나요? 단순히 유학생 수가 늘어난 것을 넘어 부산의 대학과 산업, 지역 사회에는 어떤 의미가 있을까요?
예, 그 유학생들은요, 그 자국을 떠나서 한국으로 공부하러 왔다는 것 자체가 이미 그 도전 정신과 능력이 검증된 인재라고 할 수 있습니다. 게다가 부산에서 최소 2년에서 4년 동안 대학 고등교육을 받았고 또 아르바이트도 해봤고 그리고 여기도 친구들과도 좀 사귀어봤습니다. 그러니까 다른 외국인 노동자들에 비해서 외국인 주민들에 비해서 한국 사회 적응력이 월등히 높은 집단이라고 할 수 있습니다. 이런 우수한 유학생들이 부산에 정착해서 취업도 하고 경제활동도 한다면 부산의 산업과 경제 성장이 아주 큰 원동력이 될 거라고 보입니다. 좀 문화적인 의미도 큰데요. 그 여러 국가에서 그 유학생들이 가지고 온 문화가 기존의 부산의 문화와 이렇게 융합되면서 부산만의 새롭고 독특한 글로벌 문화도 만들어질 수 있습니다. 그러니까 결국 유학생들이 정착할 수 있는 환경을 만들어주는 것은 단순히 유학생 개인을 돕는 게 아니라 부산의 대학 산업 그리고 지역사회 모두가 함께 생존하고 발전하는 기회가 될 거라고 생각하고 있습니다.
네, 우수한 유학생들의 정착이 곧 부산 경제와 문화의 큰 원동력이 되겠군요. So international students are, by definition, talented individuals whose spirit of challenge and capabilities have already been proven just by the fact that they left their home countries to study here in South Korea. Furthermore, these are individuals who have received a university education in Busan for at least 2 to 4 years, worked part-time jobs, and interacted closely with Korean friends, meaning they possesses an incomparably higher capacity to adapt to Korean society compared to other foreign laborers. He asserts that if these excellent international students settle down, find employment, and begin engaging in economic activities in Busan, it will serve as a massive driving force for the city's industrial and economic growth. He adds that it holds great cultural significance as well, as the diverse cultures brought by international students blend with Busan's existing culture, a new and uniquely global culture exclusive to Busan can be forged. He concludes that building an environment where international students can settle down is not merely about helping individual students, but represents the ultimate opportunity for Busan's universities, industries, and local community to survive and develop together. So another interesting point is that foreign international student wants to work in Busan, and local companies also want to hire them. Despite this, they are not connecting smoothly in actual employment. What is the biggest reason behind this? 또 하나 흥미로운 점은 외국인 유학생도 부산에서 일하기를 원하고 지역 기업도 이들을 채용하고 싶어 한다는 점입니다. 그런데도 실제 취업은 잘 연결되지 않고 있는데 가장 큰 이유는 무엇일까요?
예, 그 취업할 수 있는 일자리도 있고 또 취업하고 싶은 외국인 유학생들도 있는데 그 취업이 허용되지 않는 문제가 제일 큽니다. 그 제도상으로는 외국인 유학생들은 졸업 후에 그 전문 직종에만 취업이 허용되거든요. 근데 그 전문 직종은 이제 취업 경쟁률이 굉장히 심하니까 현실적으로 취업하기가 좀 어렵습니다. 그 대신 뭐 제조 생산이나 물류 같은 비전문 직종에는 졸업한 외국인 유학생들을 채용하고자 하는 기업들이 꽤 많이 있는데 한국 대학생들은 졸업하면 상황에 따라서 이제 뭐 이런 비전문 직종에도 취업을 할 수 있는데 같은 대학을 졸업해도 외국인 유학생들은 비전문 직종에 취업할 수 없는 게 지금 현실입니다. 이런 상황을 뭐 법무부도 그리고 부산시도 잘 인지하고 있습니다. 그래서 여러 가지 노력들을 하고 있으니까 좋은 제도가 나오기를 좀 기대해 볼 필요가 있을 것 같습니다.
네, 기업의 채용 수요와
네.
현재 비자 요건 사이에 아직 간극이 좀
네.
있군요. He explains that the biggest problem is that even though there are jobs available and foreigners who want to work, employment is simply not permitted. Under the current system, international students are allowed to work in specialized professional occupations after graduation. However, because the competition for professional positions is extremely fierce, finding employment there is realistically very difficult. On the other hand, there are quite a few companies wishing to hire graduated international students for non-professional positions such as manufacturing, production, and logistics. He points out that the reality that while Korean university students can choose to work in non-professional occupations after graduation depending on their situation, international students graduating from the exact same university are barred from working in those non-professional fields. He notes that both the Ministry of Justice and Busan City are aware of these situations and are currently making various efforts, so we will have to wait and hope for the emergence of a good system. So among the various alternatives you proposed through your report, there was the Busan-style campus work-study and internship program. Could you introduce what kind of policy this is and in what specific way it would be effective if implemented in practice? 보고서를 통해서 제안한 다양한 대안 중 부산형 산업 캠퍼스 실습 인턴 제도가 있었습니다. 어떤 정책인지 실제로 어떤 방식으로 운영되면 효과적일지 소개 부탁드립니다.
예, 그 대학 교육 과정 중에 표준 실습 학기제라는 게 있습니다. 이제 대학생이 기업으로 현장 실습을 나가는 그런 프로그램 일종인데요. 학생들은 학점과 실무 경험을 얻고 또 기업은 인재를 미리 겪어볼 수 있어서 좀 유용한 제도라고 생각되는데 이 제도를 외국인 유학생에게 맞춤형으로 적용해 보자는 게 바로 부산형 산업캠퍼스 실습 인턴제입니다. 그 유학생은 부산 기업 현장을 미리 경험할 수 있어 좋고 또 기업도 외국인 직원을 정식으로 채용하기 전에 우리 회사와 잘 맞는지 미리 확인해 볼 수가 있습니다. 이렇게 한 학기 동안 일하면서 손발을 맞추다 보면 졸업 후에 자연스럽게 외국인 유학생이 취업으로도 이어질 수도 있고요. 근데 아무리 좋은 제도가 있어도 유학생과 기업이 서로 모르면 소용이 없겠죠. 그래서 부산시가 중간에서 이들을 이어주는 서비스를 제공하면 좋을 것 같다는 생각이 듭니다.
네, 정식 채용 전에 학생과 기업이 미리 호흡을 맞춰볼 수 있는 아주 유용한 제도네요. Within the university curriculum, there is an existing program called the Standard Work-Study Semester System, which is a type of education program where university students go out to companies for field training. He notes that this system is highly useful because students gain academic credits and hands-on practical experience while companies get to experience talented individuals beforehand. The Busan-style campus work-study and internship program is an initiative designed to customize this existing system specifically for foreign international students. He explains that this is highly beneficial for international students as they can experience Busan's corporate environments in advance, and it allows companies to check beforehand whether a student is good fit for their workplace before formally hiring them as a foreign employee. He notes that working together and aligning their efforts over the course of a semester can naturally lead to employment upon graduation. However, he adds that no matter how good a system is, it is useless if international students and companies do not know each other, emphasizing that the Busan city and universities need to step in to provide bridging services that carefully connect the two sides. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning into Busan Worldwide, we're speaking with Lee Yo-ba, Research Fellow at the Busan Development Institute. He is sharing his insights on practical employment strategies for international students and what it takes for Busan to become a city where global talent truly wants to stay and build their futures. So, another eye-catching part of your report was the one-stop employment support system. You mentioned that everything from providing job information and visa consulting to corporate matching and settlement support needs to be connected into a single system. What does the current support system in Busan lack, and in what way do you believe it should be advanced moving forward? 또 하나 눈에 띈 부분은 원스톱 취업 지원 체계였습니다. 취업 정보 제공부터 비자 상담, 기업 매칭, 정착 지원까지 하나의 시스템으로 연결해야 한다고 하셨는데요. 현재 부산의 지원 체계는 어떤 점이 부족하고 앞으로 어떤 모습으로 고도화되어야 한다고 보십니까?
예, 사실은 부산은 이미 지자체와 대학이 협력해가지고 좋은 원스톱 체계를 만들어놨습니다. 이제 바로 부산 외국인 유학생 통합지원 허브라는 건데요. 아마 글로벌 도시재단이 큰 역할을 하고 있고 지금 마이부산이라는 플랫폼에서 그 서비스들을 확인할 수 있을 겁니다. 다만 이제 장기적으로 효과적인 서비스를 제공하려면 조직이 좀 더 안정되고 전문적인 구조를 갖출 필요가 있는 것 같습니다. 예컨대 유학생 지원 서비스에만 온전히 집중할 수 있도록 조직 체계도 좀 정비하고 또 이에 따른 예산과 또 정책 지원도 좀 뒷받침되면 좋을 것 같아요. 네. 근데 이렇게 안정적인 기반이 갖춰진다면 제가 제안드린 다양한 서비스들을 좀 시도해 볼 수 있을 것 같은데 예를 들면 온라인에서 외국인 유학생 전용 채용관 이런 것도 만들어 볼 수 있고 오프라인에서는 산업별 채용 박람회나 비자 연계 박람회 같은 여러 가지 채용 프로그램들을 운영해 볼 수 있을 것 같습니다. 그리고 또 부산의 유학생들이 일하기 좋은 기업들을 발굴해서 외국인 유학생 친화기업 인증제 같은 것도 도입한다면 유학생들에게 훨씬 더 높은 기업 정보를 제공할 수 있지 않을까 그렇게 생각하고 있습니다.
네, 현재 지원 허브를 더 전문화하고 실질적인 기업 매칭 서비스가 뒷받침되어야 한다는 말씀이네요.
네.
So he notes that Busan City and universities have actually collaborated to already build a good one-stop support system known as the Busan International Student Integrated Support Hub. He highlights that the Busan Global City Foundation plays a major role in this, and the services can be accessed through a platform called My Busan. However, he points out that to provide effective services over the long term, the organization needs a slightly more stable and specialized structure. He emphasizes that the organizational framework must be streamlined so it can focus entirely on international student support services, which must also be backed by corresponding budget and policy support. Once such a stable foundation is established, he believes they can fully attempt the various services he proposed, such as operating an online exclusive recruitment hall for foreign international students and hosting industry-specific job fairs or visa-linked expos offline. Furthermore, he suggests that if they identify jobs where international students can work with peace of mind and introduce an international student-friendly company certification system, they would be able to provide students with far more reliable corporate information. So in this report, you suggested that beyond just the employment capabilities of the international students themselves, it is necessary to improve the hiring environment of companies and prepare to welcome foreign talent. What specific roles do you believe companies, universities, and local governments should play individually? 이번 보고서를 보면 유학생들의 취업 역량뿐만 아니라 기업의 채용 환경 개선과 외국인 인재를 받아들일 준비가 필요하다고 제안하셨습니다. 기업과 대학, 지자체가 각각 어떤 역할을 해야 한다고 보십니까?
지금 부산에 외국인 유학생들이 많다고 하지만 사실은 유럽이나 OECD 국가들에 비해서 많은 편은 아니거든요. 부산이 세계적인 해양 도시로 이제 거듭나려고 하면 결국 더 많은 외국인과 어울려 지낼 수 있는 환경이 만들어져야 된다고 생각합니다. 이를 위해서는 우수한 외국인 유학생들이 부산에 잘 정착할 수 있는 어떤 열린 마음 이런 것들이 필요하다고 생각되는데요. 먼저 기업은 유학생들을 단기 인력으로 보는 게 아니고 좀 회사의 성장에 도움이 되는 글로벌 인재로 보는 어떤 인식 전환이 좀 필요하고 대학은 유학생들이 부산 기업에 취업할 수 있도록 뭐 실무 역량을 키울 수 있는 교육 기회들을 아주 충분하게 제공해주고 또 외국인 유학생들이 충분히 매력을 느낄 수 있을 정도로 교육 수준을 좀 이렇게 국제 수준으로 높일 수 있는 노력들이 필요하다고 생각됩니다. 또 지자체는 기업의 실제 수요에 따라서 외국인 채용이 잘 이루어질 수 있도록 뭐 규제 완화나 비자 제도 개선 같은 거에 좀 노력해주면 더 좋아지지 않을까요?
네. 기업의 인식 개선, 대학의 실무 교육, 지자체의 제도 완화가 함께 맞물려야겠군요. So although Busan is said to have many international students, the number is not actually that high compared to Europe or OECD nations. He stresses that for Busan to reborn as a world-class maritime city, it must ultimately create an environment where people live in harmony with a larger foreign population, meaning everyone needs to have an open mind so excellent international students can settle down well in Busan. First, he points out that companies need a shift in perception to view international students not as mere short-term labor, but as global talent capable of driving corporate growth. Second, he notes that universities must provide sufficient education and opportunities to cultivate the practical working-level skills that allow these students to find employment in Busan companies, adding that universities need to exert effort to elevate their educational quality to international standards so international students find the programs genuinely appealing. Finally, he emphasizes that the local government must actively work to relax regulations and improve visa-related systems so foreign recruitment can take place without obstacles aligned directly with the actual demands of businesses. So, what do you think is the most critical factor for someone to truly stay long-term in the city is our today's tax topic question. So we have to wrap up for today's show. So do you have any last words as we wrap up? 마지막으로 오늘 방송 소감과 마무리 인사 부탁드립니다.
네. This is my first time on Busan Worldwide.
Yes.
It was so happy to talk with you today.
네.
Thank you so much to all the listeners. I hope to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that's going to do it for today's The Interview. We've been speaking with Mr. Lee Yo-ba, Research Fellow at the Busan Development Institute. 오늘 디인터뷰에선 이요바 부산연구원 연구위원과 함께했습니다. 연구위원님 오늘 함께해 주셔서 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 이 프로그램은 방송미디어통신위원회의 방송통신발전기금을 지원받아 제작하였습니다. Now let's take a song break. This is The Other Side by Caesar and Justin Timberlake.
You're preaching to the choir, stop hating on yourself. Quit playing with your mind, you're spinning. If you think that I'm a lie, just try it for yourself. 'Cause clouds will open up, blue skies are willing. Yeah, I know it's so hard to throw away. 'Cause clouds will open up, blue skies are willing. Back on your feet again, lift your head, hold it high. it from me, you'll be okay. 'Cause it don't matter how sweet it tastes, the grass ain't green, don't worry. Losing sleep, still wanna get, yeah, you'll get back on the feet again. Lift your head, hold it high, run it back, but you can't turn the time. Feel like you're losing your shine. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. Just have to feel like you're losing your shine. The grass ain't always greener on the other side.
And that was The Other Side by Caesar and Justin Timberlake. Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. It is 11:38 a.m. And now let's check out some of the messages that we've got. So today's text topic is, what is the most important thing when deciding to stay in a city? What is the most important thing when deciding to stay in a city? 자, 오늘의 문자 주제 알려드릴게요. 도시에 머물기 위해 가장 중요한 것은? So I've got here some messages. 5883번님 saying, for me, work-life balance is the most important thing. A city where I can build my career while also enjoying in nature and culture after work is place I'd love to stay. I couldn't agree more. The work-life balance is very, very important. And here's 6167번님 saying, I choose a city where I can dream about my future. Convenience is important, but having hope and opportunities for growth is what makes me want to stay. That's right. Having hope for growth, that's really important for life as well. And and here is 79501, 7950번님. I think safety is the most important factor. If I can walk around at night without worrying and my family can live comfortably, I definitely want to stay in that city. Very, very agree. That's what I like about the Korea. I can walk freely at night without worrying about anything. That's the safety and that's the most important thing. All right, then please keep those messages coming in. With that, let's move on to Busan Update. And it's time for Busan Update. Busan is officially launching an interactive educational program that allows citizens to learn about the environment by seeing, hearing, and experiencing it firsthand. 부산시가 시민들이 직접 보고, 듣고, 느끼며 환경을 배우는 체험형 교육 프로그램을 본격 운영합니다. From July to November, the city will operate the 2026 Environmental Belt Tour. This free environmental education program allows citizens to hop on a bus and visit major local environmental facilities, nature parks, and experience centers to learn on-site about various environmental issues such as climate, ecology, and resource circulation. This year, the program's expertise has been enhanced with the participation of 12 organizations, including the Busan Regional Office of Meteorology, the Busan National Science Museum, and the Korea Water Resources Corporation. In particular, with the new addition of the Nakdong River Flood Control Office, the tour has been expanded from 19 to a total of 20 courses. A key feature of the program is that participants will have the opportunity to directly explore Busan's diverse environmental infrastructure. This includes the Weather Exhibition Hall, the Nakdong Estuary Eco Center, the Haeundae Arboretum, the National Geopark, sewage treatment facilities, and a specialized resource circulation complex. Furthermore, an environmental educator will accompany all tours to help with understanding, and a dedicated bus will be provided for the participants' transportation. The Environmental Belt Tour will run 40 times from July to November for about 1,000 participants, including local students and civic groups in Busan. Applications can be submitted on a first-come, first-served basis through the Busan Environmental Education Center's website. Moving forward, a city of Busan plans to continuously expand various customized environmental education programs so that citizens can directly experience and put into practice the importance of the environment in their daily lives. And that's it for Busan Update.
BEFM's The Interview is waiting for your participation. If you have any interesting stories to tell or unique experiences you'd like to share with our listeners, please leave a message on our website at www.befm.or.kr. We hope that your lives and experiences can be an inspiration for our listeners.
And it's time for the Correspondent Report. Let's turn to Singapore for the latest update. Our correspondent April is on the line. 오늘은 싱가포르 소식 들어보겠습니다. 싱가포르에서 April 통신원, 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요, 클레어님. 싱가포르 통신원 에이프릴입니다.
네, 만나서 반갑습니다. So earlier this week, the leaders of Singapore and Indonesia met in Jakarta and joined hands to ensure the safety of the Strait of Malacca, a major global maritime transport route. With maritime route safety being a global hot topic recently due to the aftermath of the Middle East war, what specific agreements did the two leaders reach? 이번 주 초 싱가포르와 인도네시아 정상이 자카르타에서 만나 세계적인 해상 교통로인 말라카 해협의 안전을 위해 손을 잡았다는 소식이 전해졌습니다. 최근 중동 전쟁 여파로 해상 안전이 전 세계적인 화두인데 두 정사가 구체적으로 어떤 합의를 이루어냈나요?
네, 로런스 웡 싱가포르 총리와 프라보워 수비안토 인도네시아 대통령이 지난 6일 연례 정상회담을 가졌습니다. 두 정상은 UN 해양법 협약에 근거해서 말라카 해협을 항상 모두에게 열려있고 안전하며 접근 가능한 상태로 유지하기로 뜻을 모았는데요. 단순히 해적이나 강도 행위를 막는 것을 넘어 환경오염과 예기치 못한 사고로부터 해협을 공동으로 보호하겠다는 강력한 의지를 표명한 것입니다.
네, so Prime Minister Lawrence Wong of Singapore and President Prabowo Subianto of Indonesia held their annual summit meeting on the 6th. Based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, the two leaders agreed to keep the Strait of Malacca always open, safe, and accessible to everyone, going beyond simply preventing piracy or sea robbery. They expressed a strong commitment to jointly protect the strait from environmental pollution and unexpected accidents. So the Strait of Malacca is a vital choke point where a quarter of the world's trade volume passes through, making security cooperation between the two countries look more important than ever. However, it is said that remarkable achievements were made not only in maritime security but also in the energy sector during this meeting. 말라카 해협은 전 세계 교역 물동량의 4분의 1이 지나가는 엄청난 길목이라 양국의 안보 협력이 무엇보다 중요해 보입니다. 그런데 이번 회담에서 해상 안보 외에 에너지 분야에서도 눈에 띄는 성과가 나왔다면서요?
네, 맞습니다. 매일 200척 이상의 선박이 통과하고 또 세계 해양 석유 수송량의 약 29%를 차지하는 핵심 항로인 만큼 양국은 경제적 파트너십도 대폭 강화했는데요. 이번 회담을 계기로 인도네시아 국부펀드 다난타라와 싱가포르 에너지 기업 캐펠 일렉트릭 등이 국경 간 전력 거래를 위한 업무 협약을 체결했습니다. 인도네시아가 이제 싱가포르에 2035년까지 3.4기가와트 규모의 저탄소 전력을 공급하는 내용을 담고 있어 지역 에너지 안보를 강화하는 대표적인 윈윈 프로젝트로 평가받고 있습니다.
네, as it is a core shipping lane where more than 200 vessels pass every day and accounts for about 29% of the world's maritime oil transport, the two nations also significantly strengthened their economic partnership. On the occasion of this summit, Indonesia's sovereign wealth fund Danantara and Singapore's energy company Keppel Electric signed a memorandum of understanding for cross-border electricity trade. It contains details of Indonesia supplying 3.4 gigawatts of low-carbon electricity to Singapore by 2035, which is being evaluated as a representative win-win project that strengthens regional energy security. It was a venue where both countries confirmed close cooperation as key pillars of global trade and energy supply chains. Likewise, Korean conglomerates are also actively moving to expand local investment to preoccupy the Singaporean market, which holds high strategic value. So we have news that LG Electronics has newly opened academies in Singapore and Taiwan to nurture local heating, ventilation, and air conditioning HVAC engineers. It is said to be used as a space to expand touch points with business stakeholders. So what specific roles will it play locally? LG전자가 싱가포르와 대만에 현지 냉난방 공조 엔지니어를 양성하기 위한 아카데미를 새로 열었다는 소식이 들어와 있는데요. 비즈니스 관계자들과의 접점을 넓히는 공간으로 활용된다고 하는데 현지에서 구체적으로 어떤 역할을 수행하게 되나요?
네, 정말로 좋은 소식이죠. 그래서 이번 대만 타인중과 그리고 싱가포르에 문을 연 HVAC 아카데미는 현지 설치 엔지니어들을 위한 기술 교육 포럼을 진행하는 핵심 거점입니다. 이뿐만 아니라 대형 건물의 공조 설계를 담당하는 컨설턴트나 주요 고객사들을 초청해 전문 세미나를 개최하는 장소로도 쓰이고 있는데요. 이를 통해 지역 기업 간 거래 사업의 핵심 관계자들과 긴밀한 네트워크를 형성하고 또 다양한 비즈니스 기회를 발굴할 수 있게 되었습니다.
네, the HVAC academies opened this time in Taichung, Taiwan, and Singapore serve as core bases for conducting technical education forums for local installation engineers. In addition, they are used as venues to host professional seminars by inviting consultants in charge of air conditioning design for large buildings or major clients. Through these, they will form close networks with key stakeholders in regional B2B businesses and discover various business opportunities. So the HVAC business requires tailored strategies because regulations differ by country or region and installation conditions vary greatly. To what extent is LG Electronics expanding these professional academies globally and what are the expected effects from these? 냉난방 공조 사업은 국가나 지역마다 규제도 다르고 설치 조건도 천차만별이라 맞춤형 전략이 필수적일 것 같습니다. LG전자가 이러한 전문 아카데미를 전 세계적으로 얼마나 확장하고 있는지 그리고 이를 통해 기대해야 하는 효과는 무엇인가요?
네, 현재 아시아와 유럽은 물론 북미, 중남미, 아프리카 등 전 세계 40여 개 개국에서 약 70곳의 아카데미를 운영하며 현지화 전략을 촘촘히 다지고 있습니다. 국가별 조건에 맞춘 기술 지원을 통해 현지 엔지니어들의 역량을 끌어올리는 것은 기본이고요. 궁극적으로는 공조 제품 판매를 넘어 유지 보수나 기술 컨설팅 같은 비하드웨어 영역의 매출 증가에도 크게 기여할 것으로 전망됩니다.
네, currently they are solidifying their localization strategy by operating about 70 academies in more than 40 countries worldwide, including Asia and Europe, as well as North America, Latin America, and Africa. Raising the capabilities of local engineers through technical support tailored to country-specific conditions is fundamental. Ultimately, it is projected to contribute significantly to increasing sales in non-hardware areas such as maintenance and technical consulting, moving beyond just selling air conditioning products. While the outstanding technology of Korean companies is deeply permeating Singapore's industrial site, in the cultural and artistic field, the originality of Korean theater has completely captured the hearts of local audience. So for our final story, the National Theatre Company of Korea is widely promoting the charm of K-theatre by recording consecutive sold-out shows at famous overseas performing arts festival, including Singapore. I'm curious about how enthusiastic the response from local audience was. 국립극단이 싱가포르를 비롯해 해외 유명 공연예술 축제에서 잇따라 객석 매진을 기록하며 K-연극의 매력을 널리 알리고 있습니다. 싱가포르 현지 관객들의 호응이 어느 정도였는지 궁금한데요.
정말 상상 이상의 뜨거운 열기였다고 들었습니다. 지난 5월 말 아시아 대표 공연 예술축제인 싱가포르 국제예술축제에 이혜영 주연의 헤다 가블러가 공식 초청이 됐었는데요. 3회차 전 좌석이 일찌감치 매진되면서 급히 3층 객석까지 추가로 오픈했었습니다. 지난달 말 홍콩 축제에 이어 이달 2일과 3일 독일 켐니치에서 상연된 정세영 연출의 작품 역시 객석이 매진되어 좌석을 추가 설치할 정도로 현지 관객들을 정말로 매료시켰었습니다.
네, it was a burning passion beyond imagination. At the end of last May, Hedda Gabler starring Lee Hae-young was officially invited to the Singapore International Festival of Art, a representative performing art festival in Asia. And all seats for the third performance were sold out early, leading to the urgent additional opening of the third floor auditorium. Following the Hong Kong festival at the end of last month, the work, directed by Jung Se-young, which was staged in Chemnitz, Germany, on the 2nd and 3rd of this month, also fascinated local audience so much that additional seats had to be installed due to the sold-out house. So, and that's going to do it for today's correspondent report, connecting with our reporter based in Singapore. 싱가포르 소식 잘 들었습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다, 클레어님. 지금까지 싱가포르 통신원 에이프릴이었습니다.
네. And that's going to do it for the correspondent report. That was Miss April, correspondent based in Singapore, bringing us all the latest updates. So listeners, it looks like we'll all have to wrap up things up here for today. We truly appreciate you tuning in and keeping us company this morning. Please join us again tomorrow at 11:05 for another greatest episode. Until then, we'll have you with this track, I Don't Think That I Like Her by Charlie Puth. 만찬가 by 태연.
어차피 너를 잃고 말 테니까 넓은 세상 아래 다른 것도 가끔 먹고도 싶은 나기에 너를 기할 날 알아 또 아프게 할 날 알아 다만 왜 네가 네 마음 맛이 나지 않는데 너만 괜히 보고 싶은 나인 건데 네가 아니면 만나기도 싫은 나인데 정말 멋대로네 아직까지 애매모호한 나인데 사랑의 존재란 거 다 뭔데 네가 전부 알려주면 안 될까 난 수십 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 사랑의 고백을 내게 말해줄래 난 수십 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 너의 마음속 focus 내게 줘 영원한 욕심이기에 이토록 가슴을 알아 언젠가 다시 또 너를 잃나라 마음과 다르게 가끔씩은 자꾸 서로를 이해 못해 너를 기할 날 알아 맞아 너를 기할 날 알아 다만 떠나갈 용기마저 나지 않는데 왠지 변하고 싶지 않은 마음뿐인데 네가 아니면 만나기도 싫은 나인데 정말 멋대로네 아직까지 애매모호한 나인데 사랑의 존재란 거 다 뭔데 언제나 거기에 네가 있는데 난 수백 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 사랑의 고백을 내게 말해줄래 난 수백 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 너의 마음속 focus 내게 줘 떠나지 않은 채 내 곁에 있어줬던 건 너야 결국은 전부 너 하나였던 건데 눈물 어린 상처들과 아픔은 영원히 가슴에 그대로 남는데도 난 수천 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 사랑의 고백을 너에게 줄 거야 난 수천 번의 긴 밤을 보낸다 해도 얻지 못할 듯한 너의 마음속 모든 걸